Ever since I got my little TV show here, I've always been intrigued with artists. It doesn't matter to me if it's a painter, a sculptor, if it's a chef. Yes, chefs are artists too for what they can do with food, or musicians. Kind of partial to musicians because I've always looked at myself as a wannabe musician like a lot of people, but when I get to talk to not just people who are professionals in the music industry, but where they've made a personal decision to use their God-given talents in a way that they can bring other people into the musical field, particularly working with children, that's exactly the type of guest we like to have on the show today. The name of the music school we're chatting with today is Skylight Academy of Music, and Miss Skylight Academy of Music and my guest, Michelle Bork, right here on All In. Hey, Michelle, welcome. How are you?
Hi, Brian. I'm well. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. As I mentioned, I love music. I like listening to music. I like trying to play music. But someone like you has probably been doing it for a while, long before you decided to start a school. So I'm just curious, going back, little Michelle back in the day, when did you first start getting involved with music?
Oh, my first piano lesson was, I think, 7 years old, probably in school. Yes,
so you started off with piano like so many people, because that's the best way to learning how to read music. Did you skew any other directions with other instruments, or has it always been piano for you?
It started as piano. I went to playing in the band because I had so much fun and I wanted to stick with the percussion. And then I moved into singing because there was a cute boy in the choir that I thought, oh, choir's where the happening things go. So I went to choir.
There you go. You got to work those musical vocal cords as well. But the bottom line is this: music has been a major part of your life for as long as you can remember, at least back to when you were 7 years old. Is that fair enough?
Yes, absolutely.
When did you reach the point where you thought, I like music and I'm pretty good at it, maybe I can teach other people the music deal? When did you make a decision that this is a career I'd like to look into?
I think it sort of sprung on me. I was in high school and I was attending a presentation, and it was a meaningful presentation. They were teaching us about health, and they were using comedy and music, and I just knew I wanted to do that. Not that I necessarily wanted to play or sing music, but I just knew that was impactful and I wanted to do that.
And then look at you now. Here you go. Now I always like to talk to people about the names of their business. You have a pretty interesting name, a pretty interesting reason behind the name. The name, of course, is Skylight Academy. Tell me about what's so important to you about that name, particularly the light portion of Skylight.
The reason why we changed our name to Skylight and why I love this name so much is we would not be here without our students. We would not be here without our families. And I am always remembering of that. And I always let our families and students know they are the light. We are here because of them. And when you work together towards a common goal, the sky's the limit, because we are literally here for you and we want you to succeed. So Skylight Academy of Music, it just defines who we are and what we stand for.
It's an absolutely perfect name for your business. Thank you for sharing me the meaning behind the name itself. So going back to the school itself, you mentioned something briefly. I'm not going to blow over. I'm going all the way back to something you said from a personal standpoint, that you wanted to get into band and then you went to choir because there was a cute boy in the choir. The thing is this: it's so much more than the music. It's the camaraderie, it's the self-confidence that you can gain, it's the communities you become involved with. Talk to me about how that is so important. Not everyone's going to become a professional musician, but their love of music could help them out in all phases of their life. Is that fair?
Absolutely. Who we are is more important than what we do. We use music to cultivate and build confidence. We use performances to help them develop their public speaking skills. Our performances, our students are the host. They write a script, they learn a script, they rehearse the script, as well as perform and learn their music and learn about their music, researching. It is so much about developing who we are and being okay with who we are, being okay with mistakes. How often do we make a mistake and it takes you off of your game? You can't let that happen. You just have to stay calm. We teach that. It's actually part of our teaching here.
You know, I've talked to, just recently, I spoke with a guy who's in the martial arts business, and stick with me because this is going to make sense in a second. And the skills that he teaches with martial arts, it's not about being able to kick people or break boards and stuff. It's the self-confidence that they gain. It's got to be the same for you. The first time you're working with a student and you're working on a piece and they're like, I can't do this. This is too hard. And the more you work together, and that day when it comes and they play it flawlessly, that self-confidence is there. And next time they have a math test, it may not be as hard because they said, you know what? Miss Bork taught me how to play that piano piece. I can figure out this math equation. Am I reading too much into that, or is that really there?
No, because what we do is we find ways to break it down into pieces so it doesn't seem like such a huge task. Take a song, like you were just mentioning. Maybe don't go from the beginning to the end. Maybe you just have a small section that you really need to just get right. Don't worry about the rest of the song. Play that little bit. Go to the end. Work yourself backwards. We actually want you to have skills and tools that help you succeed and carry that over to that math test or to your to your schoolwork.
You know, one of my favorite expressions is, how does a piranha eat a hippo? One bite at a time. That's exactly how it's done. You mentioned too about the families, but I want to touch on this. Tell me about these Zoom performances. Everybody learned the magic of Zoom last year. Certainly you and I are Zooming together today, but you actually do Zoom performances. I got to hear about that.
It's a lot of fun. Well, with everything that's happened this past year, it's been so important to maintain our health, our wellness, our spirits, and not just our students, our families. Everyone has had to manage and find the best way to live their life in these times. And so we chose to include our families in our performances, and we chose to have fun games in our performances as well. So it wasn't only about the music, but we would have a Zoom scavenger hunt where they would have to safely go find a hat, and the first one who gets it back gets a point, and we'd have prizes, and it was a lot of fun. We would have family contests. So learning about our families, they would provide either they would dress up depending on our concert. So we had our Aloha concert, and whichever family was dressed the most spirited won a prize. So we really do want to incorporate the entire, as you said, community into our programs. And we did that with music and with games and prizes.
That is just greatness, and it just keeps going even in the summertime now. You got a pretty specific project going right now for the kids. I've got about a minute left. Tell me about our summer one-word project.
If you can, in one word, only use one word, describe what this last year was like, what would that word be?
For me, it was exciting.
Very good. So what we would do is we would find a song that demonstrates that word. And it could be a song that you already know, but you sing in an exciting way. It's about creativity and expression and well-being and health, and really creating that healing process and using the arts to cultivate that opportunity. And then the second part of our summer program is to have a creation of your own that incorporates all of the arts, because a lot of our musicians are also artists. We want to encourage that so they can write a poem, write a story, compose a song, sing a song, or they can give us a drawing or piece of art.
Goodness gracious. I mean, I love everything about that. Do you teach adults too, or are you strictly with kids?
Well, absolutely. No, our oldest is 4, our youngest is 96.
I like that. And I'll be honest, I'm somewhere in the middle. I kind of skew more one way than the other, but I'm right between 4 and 96. Yeah. Well, you know what? You're just precious the way you do everything, and you do it for all the right ways, but you make it fun. Now, who wouldn't want to learn when they're having fun doing it? And the coolest thing to me is so many of these kids, they think they're just learning music. They really don't have a clue. They're learning skills and tools that are going to take them through all the ups and downs that all of us affect in our life. But someday they're going to look back and they're going to say, I know what she was doing now. Now I get it. That's why I'm able to complete this project at school. That's why I'm the successful business owner, whatever it may be. It all starts with music, and it all starts with you and the great work at Skylight Academy. Thanks for being with us today. Please keep doing what you're doing. Take care.
Thank you. Will do.